Hi guys, Michelle Jones live here. I just love that intro countdown. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it did. So, guys, it's a Wednesday once again, and I'd like to welcome all of you to Cuppa with Michelle. I am your host, Michelle Jones, and I am a health, wellness, and longevity coach who helps business people, especially women, create a successful online business that they can work on anywhere they are so that they can have a life that is in balance and in a state of flow. So, too many people are suffering in their health, unable to balance family and work, struggling to create the financial freedom they have been dreaming of. Well, I'm here to help those of you who are ready to take action to integrate into your business, into your online business, your passions, your talents, and lifestyle, and to create an automation that can bring you passive income, and your dreams will all be happening all in flow. So, some of you may not know this, but I have moved homes every 3 years or so for the past 23 years. I do this with my husband and children in order to support my husband on his postings overseas. So, I call myself the trailing spouse. A lot of you who have been traveling with your defense husbands or with your foreign affairs husbands or spouses will understand how that works. But relocating to a new place and starting afresh can be really exhilarating and daunting at the same time. There are new adventures that we can look forward to, new friendships, cultures, food, places to visit. But there's also the finding of a new home, the new dentist, the new doctor, the new school, finding your car, finding out where the grocery is, and all the other things that come along with starting afresh. Now, amidst all this uncertainty, so many seem to think that relocating, starting afresh, is a privilege, and that we should all look forward to it. Start something new, recreate yourself. A lot of the times we hear people say that. But is it really a privilege? Should we really all rebuild our lives in a new place? Should we attempt to try and create a new adventure somewhere else? Or is relocating and starting afresh actually difficult? So today I have my dear friend Tamara Raymond here joining us for a cuppa and helping us through our discussion of this topic. Tamara is a wonderful mother of two adorable teenagers. She and her husband Ryan are triathletes, and I am so jealous of that. And they are successful entrepreneurs who have set up multiple businesses. I met Tamara in Colombo, Sri Lanka, when I moved there in 2010 with my husband for his posting. And we have been business colleagues and great friends since then. So please welcome Tamara Raymond, who has decided to join me here in Australia to relocate herself, and who now is a great guest for us to help us in this discussion. Hey,
Hi,
Tammy.
everybody. Hi. Thanks for having me, Michelle.
Oh, welcome. I can't believe we're in the same time zone.
After all these years.
I know, right?
Awesome.
Okay, I just realized, here we go. Ah, what happened there? Here we go. I need to get rid of, ah, tech difficulties. There we go. Okay, that looks better.
Okay.
There's too many pictures, too many things happening
Correction.
there. Tammy, you just got here into
I
Australia,
did. I
but
did in
I am
January.
I am very happy you came in summer, or well, the semblance of summer that we've had. But can you just share with us how this happened? Like briefly, just a brief story of why you guys
So,
decided to relocate to Australia.
so we made a very quick decision to relocate. We decided last year in July, roughly, based on the political situation in Sri Lanka, and things were just going a little topsy-turvy. We were a little concerned that we might go into further lockdowns because of the fuel shortages and stuff like that, and that it would affect our daughter's education, because she had done 2 years of online. And it was really difficult for her. She's a very social child, And we felt that if we had to go back online, that would really affect her because she would be effectively doing her VCE for Australians, or A levels for English people, for the Europeans, if you know what that is. So our decision was very time sensitive. So literally in 6 months, we decided, okay, we're moving, and we moved. And because Australia is a country we've lived in before, but when I say before, that was 20 years ago, so it's a long time. It wasn't a big jump, but it was a big decision to move. Big decision, very big decision to move. So effectively for the kids, so that they could just start their guys at uni now. And just set them up really. And my plan is that once they've all set up and she's done with school, that I will go back to Sri Lanka.
Oh, why? You don't want to stay here with me?
Well, that's the grand plan, Michelle, but you know how plans are. These are just plans.
Right.
Plans can be changed, yes.
And I know a lot of people in Colombo want you back there.
Oh.
It was so funny when they were all saying, "Oh, Tammy, don't leave us." And I'm thinking, no, come. So, but Tammy, there's so many difficulties in the move. And I know you, as you mentioned, you've been here before, so it's not so difficult. But I mean, to make that seamless, how did you try and prep for it?
Gosh, after not living here for 20 years, it really is like we're moving like to a brand new country, because things have just changed so much. So obviously from finding a school, finding somewhere to live, all of that had to be done online. So everything was researched. Even how much it would roughly cost us to set up house, because literally I have a house in Sri Lanka which is running, and we've had to set up a house here. So literally from buying your fork and spoon to the fridges to everything. So we researched everything, how much it will cost to buy a car, how much do we need to pay for utilities, like so that we could come up with budgets and stuff. It's not this sort of fairy tale notion of, oh, I'm going to move to a new country. There's a lot of planning that needs to go into that thought. And then the whole thing of, okay, what do I do when I get there? Like, do I work? And of course, I must work. So then looking into the job markets, and even that, just going online and looking at, I have a really good friends here, so they sent me some links to job sites that I could start researching. But just reading the descriptions of like how they advertise now, it's so different to how it was 20 years ago. So even to get myself used to the language that's being used now, in the market. And I'm actually redoing my CV. And when I say redoing, I mean stripping it apart and redoing it to fit the Australian market, and that's another thing people don't understand. You might have a great CV, but it means nothing in the country that you're in if it's not formatted to how they want it done. So I'm literally rewriting like paragraph by paragraph of my CV, which again is a new thing, because I haven't interviewed for a job for over 25 years. So that's going to be something.
That's right. I was
just work for myself. Yeah. So it's a lot of a lot of news, a lot of firsts, but it is exciting, but it's daunting. It's these are huge decisions, and a lot rides on those decisions that you make. So yeah, it's not all like, oh, I'm moving country, I'm going to Australia. It's not like that.
Well, that's right. Actually, a lot of people think it's like that. They think it's as simple
precisely.
as just
it's not
create life. And it was funny because just before we when I was planning this one, I was thinking, what are the 5 misconceptions about relocating and starting anew? And the funny thing is, the number one is that moving to a new place will solve all your problems.
Oh,
Tammy.
no, God, no, God, no. Please, if you come with that notion, you've already shot yourself in the foot before you get started. It's possible that it may offer you new opportunities. It is possible that it could open new doors for you. And obviously, you're exposed to new cultures and a new way of life and new efficiencies and automations and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking in relation to coming from a developing nation. But my goodness, it's wrought with challenges, and it's not a quick fix to anything. If not anything, you'll be slapped hard in the face because you're doing everything for yourself here, like you are in many Western countries, and coming again from an Asian country where we're pampered, and you just think, oh, I'm just going to walk into a job and I'm going to just to find a house here was just so difficult because of the rental markets. I mean, you've got to just know, I think you need to come prepared with plan B and a plan C. You can't count on just your plan A, because believe me, that plan A ain't going to work. It's not going to work. And also, I think the other big thing is, if you think you can come in and suddenly just, make the bucks and whatever, if you've saved or you've allocated yourself X amount, I reckon add another 25% to that at least, to make sure that you have a buffer, so that you can actually get through. I mean, you don't know what's going to come up, and how long things are going to take.
That's right. But the good thing about you, though, is because you've got these multiple businesses that you've set up, you actually came here with one of them. I mean, you've got businesses that are going on in Colombo, but with you here, you've actually got an online business. Just talk to us about, what relief that gives you, and what, I guess, peace of mind that gives you in this situation.
Actually, I was talking to my husband about that today, So my online business is Kangen, which is also what Michelle does, part of what Michelle does. I started that in Sri Lanka in 2012 when not many people were doing it. So it was it's like relocating, because it was relocating a brand that no one had ever heard of. And we were told, you'd never sell a machine here. And I'm 6A2 there, which is a rank within the company of Enargic. So like coming to Australia, it's obviously, again, I'm starting afresh, but thankfully people know about Kangen here, so it's not as hard. But for me, honestly, like I said to Ryan today, honey, all I have to do is just sell 2 machines in the next month, and that just changes for me, because especially at my rank, it just changes our financial situation and adds so much more into the pot. It's just, I can't explain to you how valuable that is. And it's as simple as, let me sell a machine. It's not like, let me work for a month and get my pay. It's like, I just have to sell a machine, and that thought, I don't know, it's very, for me, it's very hopeful, because it's simple, I've just got to sell a machine. I'm not trying to convince someone to give me their blood. It's just going to sell you this awesome machine. And I think that's a wonderful part of this business, actually. Really, really wonderful part of this business.
We've got a message here. Let me just pop this up.
Mm-hmm.
It's Elaine, and Elaine says, "Hi girls, I know what Tamara is talking about. Moved to Australia 36 years ago, and it took at least 2 years to settle down." Oh my gosh, Elaine.
Oh God, Elaine, I hope it doesn't take me that long.
That's right. Don't scare her away.
No. No, it won't. I'm actually got myself into a bit of a routine now, and it's going all right. It's going okay.
Yeah, thank you for that message, Elaine. But yes, that's right. It can be that way, and I guess the thing as well is, I mean, as I mentioned at the start of this show, I call it a show now, but I move like every 3 years, and there is I always say that in my experience, because I'm an experienced mover.
You are.
I don't move stuff, but like I move ourselves. But I think what I've realized is it actually takes you about 6 months. Get your kids settled, settle yourself, find your home, find how to clean your home efficiently, where your groceries are going to come from, and so on and so forth. And as long as you give yourself a break, as long as you agree that it's not needing to be perfect to get started and get settled and start making friends, then you'll be okay. So don't worry about that.
100%. 100%.
That's right.
I agree with you.
And I love, as much as there are so many challenges that comes along in moving, and so that first misconception of you leave your problems, you actually, maybe some people do that, they leave their problems, but there's a new set of problems when you go to a new place. It's never always, how do you call it, like roses and
a bed of roses. Yes,
a bed of roses. That's right.
Yes,
there are a set of challenges. What were some of those challenges, I guess, for you and for your children?
I think this has been quite difficult for the kids, especially because they've never lived outside of Sri Lanka. Because I grew up in Melbourne, it made the transition much easier because I'm familiar with Melbourne and how it works,
That's right.
kind of.
But that was you prior to the children, right?
Prior, much prior. And thankfully, my son's 19 and my daughter's almost 17, so that's helpful. But again, they're brought up in Sri Lanka, so they're used to a different way of life. So for them, it's been a bit of a rude awakening, but we prepped them. We said, you've got to do your own dishes, you've got to wash your own clothes and make your own bed. Jai, you're going to have to wash the car, you're going to have to mow the lawn, you do the garbage. And I mean, honestly, we gave it to them. We cleaned the house, we gave it to them like the reality of what it's like to live there. And also for me, because my husband's going back and forth, that was a huge adjustment as well, because effectively while he's away, I'm single mom. So doing all of that plus being mom and dad and driving the kids around and it's really quite exhausting. It's quite exhausting.
It is exhausting. That's right.
But
Hold
again,
on. Before we continue,
yes,
you say, Ryan, you are a single guy back in Colombo.
yes, he is. But he's feeling terrible because he says the house is like a ghost town and he's really miserable. So we've sent many emissaries to keep him occupied.
That's right.
At least we've got each other here. But yeah, we had to prep mentally for the move because I didn't want the kids to come in and think, oh, we're moving to Australia and it's got this, and this, and it's got all of those wonderful things. But life here is completely different to what it is in an Asian country. Even the weather, just the weather. I had to tell them, we have 4 seasons and summer is winter. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, well, we had 2 proper winter days in the middle of summer here in December. And if they were both like, Mom, it's supposed to be summer.
That's right. Yeah.
But, just those little things, getting used to a whole new system of schooling. That was, but thankfully, she's really adapted well. Jai was always going to come to uni, so that was an easy adjustment because his mind was already there. But for all of us, it's been many levels of changing our thinking, adapting to each situation, because this is all literally brand new for all of us, brand new.
Oh my gosh. I remember when we moved here, and every time we come back here from our posting, this is home for us, but because we've been moving around everywhere, every time we come back, it's reminding the kids again, okay, we're going to have to wash our clothes, like what you said. But Tamara, what you forgot to mention, and what I always say is, we're going to have to wash our clothes and know how to put them on the line, whether it's winter or summer.
Yes. Oh my!
It's different.
So to this week in Melbourne, the weather, it's awesome weather this week. I've done the sheets. I've done the towels. I'm like, I can dry.
Oh, that's right. That's
reality. Yes.
My son left his clothes on the line overnight during winter and went out the next morning because he realized his mistake and there was school the next day.
Oh.
But I said, darling, you can't get it because they're all crispy outside. Because of the frost that we've got here. So,
and you guys have it much colder. Yeah, you guys really cold down there.
That's right. Right. But okay, so another misconception that people have is how easy it's going to be to actually make friends. So although you've been here, you've lived here before, how difficult or how easy was it to actually get yourself involved in groups and what have you to actually create friendships?
Okay,
here?
So again, my situation is slightly a little different only because I lived here. I have some of my very close friends still here. So they've obviously rallied around me and we've relied on each other. But one of the things that I was really looking for, and I am looking forward to, is starting work, because that gives me a whole new social structure. And that's really important because I don't want to rely just on my current friends, because I don't want to say that's not enough, but I want to widen my social circle. And that's one of the joys of moving to or relocating, is the fact that you get to make new friends and have new social structures and social spheres. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. That was one of the things that I was very excited about, the fact that I get to come and then work somewhere, and then I'll have this whole new social group. And who knows what that will mean or what that'll entail. But that's something that I'm looking forward to. And I think working or even joining clubs, as you said, is important. So as you said, we do sports. So I run on my own, but I'm going to join a bike group, again for socializing and also just team, just to build team, and so I can be part of that whole thing. But I think those kind of things are really important so that you assimilate into the culture and that you assimilate into where you're at, because otherwise you can be very insular. Again, from an Asian perspective, I can just choose to hang out with the Sri Lankans and that's it. And I've never been like that. Some of my closest friends here, my best friend here is actually Australian. And I've told the kids the same thing. I said, it's important that you have friends across all cultures. Don't stick to what you're used to, because it doesn't broaden you and it doesn't challenge you in any way. So yeah, that's my
right.
goal. That's
I
my
love
goal.
how you said that. That's right. Because some people actually like to just congregate with people of their same religion or their same nationality. And I feel like you limit yourself too much when you do that. It's not saying avoid them. It's
No,
add more,
exactly.
add different cultures, add different religions. Yes, I love that. Hey,
And especially in a
Jerry.
country like Australia, because it's, I mean, so multicultural, you have that option to do that.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Jerry, thanks for watching us. Let us know if you've also had an opportunity to relocate and what your challenges were. So, Tams, I love how we are obviously much closer to each other right now. I love how I love how we're able to actually also share our experiences because as I've realized through the years, through our travels, people think that relocating is a luxury. It's or sorry, I should rephrase that. That relocating is a luxurious experience. Like it's exciting and it's always great. I remember when my sister gave me a call, and I think I was in Indonesia, and like I took her call when I was actually having a bath, like on the tub. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, your life is so easy." And I thought,
Oh,
"Oh, what made you think that?" Right?
yeah.
Because relocating isn't just about you um, creating a home right now, but it's a constant challenge. I wouldn't say struggle, but it's a constant challenge of living in a new place, doing things you're not familiar with, doing things that you're not comfortable with. I mean, like we're heading towards winter soon, Tammy.
Correct. Gorgeous.
And
Yeah.
just going to school for the kids when it's so
Yeah.
cold.
Cold.
Reminding yourself the simple things of drinking water when you're not sweating. Those are different
That's been a
changes.
huge, especially for my kids, because especially Jai, he drinks a ton of water. Saira literally, even in Sri Lanka, has to like run around behind her, heavy drunk, heavy drunk. But even Jai is struggling. He goes, Mom, I just forget. And even me. So I've got my bottle next to me now. I mean, I have always have my bottle, but sometimes I'm like looking at it, go, oh God, I've only drunk a liter today, and then quickly try and guzzle down another liter because it's so easy to get out of the routine here because you're right, you don't sweat. And
That's
I'm
right.
just, Sri Lanka is very humid, so you're constantly, I feel you're constantly thirsty, you're drinking, but little things like that, all of those things. And as for, I think sometimes we romanticize the whole relocation process. Oh, I'm going to Australia. Oh, I'm going to Indonesia. Oh my
That's right.
God, we're going to London. But my goodness, each one of those, each country has its own challenges. And I think if you go with the mindset of this romantic notion of, oh my God, I'm moving to a country, I think you will be up for a lot of disappointment and a lot of letdown if you're not in going there with the right mindset, as in
That's
there
right.
will be challenges, there will be
Mm,
obstacles, things may not go exactly how I've planned it. What do I do
that's
if
right.
if it takes me 6 months longer to find a job, or because otherwise I think you could just spiral downwards real fast, and then you're suddenly realizing, oh, this is not so much fun when I'm having to clean up the dog's poop and wash the car and do the garbage.
Did you bring your dog?
No,
Oh God, I thought you did. I was gonna say that's
you
right. That's another
can't.
challenge.
They have to do quarantine outside of Australia.
That's
That's
true.
just not
Yes.
that's not an option for me.
Yeah.
They've
We
never
are
been in a cage. Just can't do
Australia's
it.
very strict about that. That's correct.
No.
But you know what? The other thing, though, that I want to add to that is it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it, that you
Oh
can't
God,
keep
no.
moving, that you can't keep
No.
traveling, because that's the lifestyle that I actually truly love, right? But
Yeah.
you need to do it understanding what the challenges are going to be,
Correct.
knowing
Correct.
how you're going to address the challenges, and just being
Yes.
prepared. You will never
100%.
truly be 100% ready. You will never
Yep.
be 100% prepared for
No.
anything in life in
No.
general, right?
Correct.
But
Yep.
if you prep for it, if you try and take into account, the different possibilities and different things that
Yep.
might happen,
Yep.
then it'll be a smoother transition. Oh, I've got here a
100%.
friend of yours. Oh, well, a friend of
Ah,
ours.
okay.
Amalie,
Hey,
hi!
Molly.
You should be here with us next time,
Yeah,
Amali.
yes. Yes.
uh, Thank you for joining us, Amali. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to just add is if you could give people advice as to, just three things, what they need to do to actually be ready for a move like this, what would it be?
I think one of the first things you should do is do all your research thoroughly. And I don't just mean where am I going to live. Research everything, the job market, the cost of living, speak to people that you can, work your budgets out, even like work out what your food is going to cost you, things that you don't think about. How much will my extra spending, like my leisure, cost me? If you've got kids, obviously do all the research connected to all of that. Um, get ready for the job hunt because that's really important. Really get your mind in the game for that one because you need to do a lot of research online. Just look at the scope of work, look at the kind of language that they're speaking in. That, like now in Australia, the business language is completely different. Get used to that. Start doing your prep for that before you come. And maybe even start sending out your CVs. Get any kind of help that anyone's willing to give you. Take it because believe me, you will need it because you don't know everything when you get here. Actually, you don't know anything when you get here because it's different. You've not lived here. You don't understand you don't fully understand how things work. So honestly, I would ask for help at any given moment. Just ask for help in any which way you can. And I would also suggest that you bring, if it's possible for you, have a buffer with your finances because you don't really know what it's going to be like once you get here. And then suddenly you'll be like, oh, I had planned for example, $1,000 a month and it's costing me $1,500 a month. And then you start getting anxious because what you've kept aside is not enough. So it's like running a business really. Just have your extra bit so that you can run yourself, to give yourself a little bit of time to get settled in because it doesn't always go to plan. I mean, it could take you 6 months and you had thought, oh, 3 months, And I think
That's so
I think
true.
yeah, I think basic stuff like that. I think
I love
I don't
that. I
know.
love that. Just one thing that I'll add for everyone as well in this forum. When you have a business like what we do, we've got an online business. You will you will be able to decide for yourself whether or not you want to jump into a new place and look
Yep,
for a job or not. I actually
yep,
like the idea of finding a job. It doesn't have to be. I mean, you can be more, what's the term, you can decide what type of job you want,
yes,
but the idea of the job is it will help you create your own community. You'll have a community
100%,
of people. Some
100%.
people opt to just go to the gym and make friends in the gym, and that's fine too,
Yeah,
because you have to remember that when you are new to a place, getting a group of people that you can actually learn to get along with, or you can hang out with, or you can do things with, can be quite difficult unless you've already
yeah,
got your old friends. And
yep.
it's funny because I've been back here and I've refused to go back and work, but I was talking to a lady recently and I said to her, oh, I feel like what you're doing is actually quite interesting and I might consider getting a job where you are. I said, because of the
Mhm.
fun,
Yeah,
because of the fun
yeah,
and the friendships
yeah,
that you make. And it's not,
yes,
sometimes a job isn't really about the income. Sometimes it is
yes,
about connections.
Much
So
more, correct.
whatever it is that you need, make sure that you acknowledge it. Because when you pretend that you don't need something that you feel in your heart you actually need, you're actually making it more difficult for you to transition in this new place.
100%. 100%.
Right?
I would agree with everything you just said.
Oh, Danny, thank you for your time. I just love having you here. Thank you
Thanks
for
so
the
much
guys
for
that have.
having me, Michelle. Thank
Thank
you.
you. And to everyone that have watched this live, we are on 3 platforms today. And if you're watching the replay, do type hashtag replay and type up your questions about relocating, about starting anew, because we'd love to be able to help you out. It is a fun adventure after you've gotten yourself settled.
Yes,
So-
for sure. And if you have the opportunity to, I've told my son, once you finish uni, you should travel, go and see the world for a little while. I mean, I would recommend it to anyone who has the opportunity to do it, but I think you have to just do it with the right mindset.
That's right. Be prepared. Thank
Yes.
you, Demi. And thank you, everyone, for
Thanks.
joining us. We're back
Thank you.
next week, Wednesday at 2:30, Cuppa with Michelle. And I look forward to seeing you guys there again. Bye.
Bye.